Bitcoin moneymaker, every angle to get in the crypto game. Welcome to all my fellow Bitcoin monkeys. Chain.Group is at it again. They're letting one of their trading groups that belongs to them, they're an escrow service that has multiple trading groups that I guess have contracts with them. The most popular one, Dragon, is shutting down new leases in December and says they're leaving after that, even though it's been probably super profitable for them. I get their goal is 10 million, but they're still a business that wants to make money. Why would you walk away at the very beginning of a huge business opportunity? So now at the holiday season, I guess these three are taking off, and Bitstrong is the second most popular one. I don't know of like any business that just shuts down for that long, especially like a financial exchange where so much money can be made. This isn't like they've been tired and working forever. This is like this is like their this is like the beginning of the whole partnership with Chain.Group. So this is just another flag. Everybody else is, kissing their ass saying how transparent they are. I've been shoveling my stuff to Bitconnect. If you don't know, my plan is to have 10 grand in, and it's been shimmying down pretty much to just Bitconnect now. I'm shoveling over my money here until I cover my 5 grand put in here over to Bitconnect. And I have a video, I think episode 1 or 2, that breaks all this down. I think it's my trailer video. But anyways, that concerns me, but they're still paying. I'm still shoveling over. I think I have $1,500 shoveled over now out of the 5,000 I put in here. So that's fine. BitConnect still working fine. Let's make our loan. They've been paying crappy interest lately, but hell, I mean, their calculator says in the last 30 days they're still paying over percent. So I'm happy with that. As long as the average stays up, it doesn't matter to me. So this is 160, and then that's going to leave a little bit left over. And then this is starting to kick up a little bit on average. The actual money that's in BitConnect that's being reinvested, because now I'm shoving all this Chain.Group money in there, and that's making the pile bigger and giving me more. So my plan is to keep shoveling stuff over in Chain.Group. At first, sorry, it was to recover the 5,000. Now it's until January 5th. It's until their little holiday party is over, which I suspect isn't a holiday party. They just don't want to have to pay interest. They're going to pay like 0.1% interest to people that signed, a contract for 6 months or whatever, 100 days, whatever the trading plan was. They signed it for that amount of time, and they're just saying, no, we're not going to pay. I guess somewhere in the contracts with all these trading bot groups it says they can pay whatever they want during the lease. So I don't know, that whole thing to me is a little bit strange, but everyone's like, oh, you're so transparent, you're telling us way ahead of time. I think it's just a way to save money. I don't know if that means they're going to go under, but I think it's a way that they can just save their money. So again, if you go in there, it's a gamble, and it's to like punch fast, hard, and get money out. I hope it sticks around, and if it does pass January 5th, I will keep reinvesting there and growing it there once I got all this money over to BitConnect, which is the last man standing in the Hunger Games. It's like the whole world keeps turning, and it's in different sections, and they all go into death zone. That's what a lot of crypto feels like. But I mean, if you're smart and you keep moving, you may survive. You will survive. So here's Western Coin. This is my third play. I only put $100 in this for fun. This is more for the future. They have kind of a rigged exchange where up here, they control the price, and they usually add another 30, 40, 50, 60% to what the actual internal exchange says. But they do have a working internal exchange. Regal Coin, they got jack shit. They don't have an internal exchange. I think Hextra Coin's doing okay, but no one else is like as smooth as BitConnect, not even close. This one seems as smooth as BitConnect. I haven't made a loan yet. I could, but their plan is to start marketing and going to the external exchanges in December. So I'm interested, once they go to the external exchanges and they get real money, if they're going to stop this rigged system. So what this does is this incentivizes you to lend, like me, who's kind of in here. If I want to sell out, though, on the internal exchange, the price is only here, so it's less. But I don't know. I think that yeah, I think that this will do well. I think that I think in the future it can do well. I think it has the workings to do really, really well. Yeah, but we'll see. All these are kind of shaky. So anyways, yeah, my price on there went up. I think it went down to like $2 or $3 at some point, but now it's back up to 5. So we'll see what the internal exchange does once they hook it up with the external exchange. And they have some people in a Telegram group, so we'll see. And on to the Tether controversy. Oh yeah, Bitcoin went over 10,000. I was not there to cover that, but that was pretty big. And there's some implications though with Tether. Tether printed another 25 or 30 million. We could look at CoinMarketCap, but I'm just gonna skip through that today. But here's an interesting site that I saw off Twitter, BitInfo charts, and you can see how much money are in the wallets in Bitfinex, which is one of the biggest users of Tether. And there's rumors that Bitfinex is in cahoots with Tether to pretty much use a fractional reserve system or not hold all the money they say they do. So if people ever on margin or anything all want to get out at once, there'd be a run on the exchanges and you couldn't get out, and then the price of Tether would plummet because the market would decide it's not really there and it's not really that valuable because it's not backed proportionally because exchanges freeze up and won't let you out. So I guess this happened in April after looking at this big Medium blog post. You guys can research it yourself, just like Tether controversy, I'm sure it'll come up. But you can see how this happened. There was kind of a run on the exchanges. And I guess the price of Tether, instead of being $1 is only 90 cents. So on Kraken, and I think Poloniex, you have a Tether to US dollar exchange and price. So look for this. So you see over here, it's kind of recently, it started to drop quickly. There's no other point that has dropped quickly like that. So keep an eye on it and add USD Tether to your alerts to TradingView and Blockfolio. If that happens, you may want to get out to fiat. If I get out to fiat, I will let you guys know. But it's something to look at. And this is for Bitcoin if it ends up going down and has a pullback and correction, I don't know, soon. Poloniex is the only platform, is one of the better platforms at least that I know. I've had problems getting verified on Bittrex, but you have to get verified on Poloniex. This is where you can put stops on USD Tether. I know I just talked about the Tether controversy. I don't think that's quite yet. I think if anything was going to happen, it would happen in a month or 2 or 3. So for here though, if you want to sell out of Bitcoin at the highs and you want to come back in at the lows, you can actually set stops here. On Binance, you can set limits but not stops. On COINBASE and on Gemini, you can set limits but you can't set stops. And stops are valuable because let's say you fall asleep or you're not here to watch the charts and you want to sell if it falls to a certain level. Well, you need to put a stop at like 9,200, 9,300, 9,400, whatever it is, so that when it hits that stop, then you trigger that you want to sell on the way down. Otherwise, if you just sell a limit, it'll just say like, oh, it's better than this price, it'll want to buy. So when you want to go in the opposite direction, stops are really helpful when you want to go in the opposite direction of what's happening now, or if you want to save on losses. So I put not a lot of my money, but a little bit, just as kind of a small hedge, so maybe I could buy in lower if it does go down to 7,000 or 6,000, 5,000. I just put a stop down at 9133. I always love 33 and 67, somewhere that's like in the meat of 100 to make sure it's like before after. So this is before 9100, so the stop would get hit before it hits that 9,000 level and maybe hit some resistance. And then so it gives it some time, and then it would just have to beat this price, 88.67. So that's where I would trade out if it just all of a sudden dropped like a dagger. It's just an interesting time right now because the last dip I was prepared for, and it seemed pretty easy to predict because everyone was talking about it for a week or two. Now it seems like half the people that are really good on Twitter at trading say it's going to go up. Half the people say it could fall really fast, and no one really knows. And it seems like everyone's kind of confused and no one has any certainty. So that's why I'm doing this. And then onto my trades on BitMEX. I have a different account. I'm not going to show you that account right now, but I'll let you know what happened over when Bitcoin was going up. I got a small gain of like, this account only had 70,000 Satoshis. That's like $70 worth on it. And I did a long on Bitcoin. I got like, 50,000 or $5. And then I did 2 pretty good longs on Monero, and I had one over here and then one over here, and then stops. Trailing stops is what hit them on the way down on each, so I was proud of myself. And then I put a third one here, thinking it could keep going, and then Bitcoin came back for a higher rally, and my stop got hit right away. This one wasn't as smart though. This one, I didn't see a clear trend. I was just guessing, and I was hoping again. My ego got the best of me. I said, oh, I got 2 right, I can get 3 right, without really thinking. These ones I kind of thought about, and I waited, and I saw a clear trend on the way up. So that was a bad move, and that lost me some. So these gained me like, 30,000, 30 bucks, and this one lost me like 15. So it is kind of following that triangle, but again, Bitcoin came out of nowhere and broke that triangle down. Otherwise, it was pretty good while it lasted. And then moving on to Ethereum, this has felt like I've been in the goddamn trenches, and I'm just getting shell-shocked, and I'm emptying every last clip at the enemy, and all my fellow soldiers are just dead, and I'm like surviving on the last tin of food, just like praying for backup or for a miracle. It's not liquidated yet, thank God. I really thought it was. And on BitMEX you can't go over 100% loss because it starts ratcheting up the margin for you, so you start losing your available balance to the trade, and that could possibly be a total loss. So again, to review for anyone that hasn't been watching that long, I drew this channel over here. I came up with gaining, doing well. I got into a third trade here, I set a stop loss down here, and I said, when it was here, I took off the stop loss set because I said, no, it's going to hit the channel, it's going to bounce up. I don't want to hit the stop loss. Well, then it just slid down this death ray right here, and then it's been under ever since, and then Bitcoin just has kept going crazy, but it hasn't liquidated. My liquidation point is at 4.1 million, so I still have some room. I'm like negative 50%. So again, always set a stop loss. On Monero, I had that stop loss hit. This sucked. My last one just today, and I lost whatever 15 bucks or 15,000 satoshis. It sucked, but I mean, if Monero went a lot lower, I could be trapped in something like this again. So I should have not gone into the trade because I wasn't certain. I should have set my stop loss tighter on that Monero thing, but at least I did set a stop loss. I learned my lesson. And if we go here, you can see I'm at whatever negative 146%, because on BitMEX, when you get in a bad trade and if you're not near the liquidation point, it'll start ratcheting up leverage to help pay for your debt that you're in the trade before the liquidation. So it's kind of a crazy thing, the whole system. I'm still learning. I haven't been in a negative 143% trade for this long, but the liquidation price is here, so I'm still have breathing room, and I think it'll come back because I think the worst of Bitcoin is over. But don't take my word on that. And then onto the copy trading, Snortex. He kind of shit the bed. He hasn't been doing much, so I got out of him. I went over to Salt Bay, who's the next best one. I had 4 million satoshis to start with. Now I have 3 million. Overall, Snortex lost me 500,000, and this guy has lost me another 500,000. But we'll see. I just don't have the Bitcoin in here to follow multiple traders, because it can easily run out on the amount of open trades. So I can only stick to really one at a time. Maybe I'll try a second guy. I don't know. This guy looks like he's doing pretty good. But yeah, we'll see. It's risky here. And then the good old savings account on Hashflare, cloud mining, that has been doing super well. I mean, now it's paying, this is the highest I think ever, 19,000 satoshis. And I put in 2.8 million, and now it's risen to 6.6 million in over a year. So that's great, because now that's clearly, over 100%, and I'm happy with that. So that's it. Yeah, as far as the other nice hash cloud mining, I haven't done a lot because Bitcoin's gone up so much. It's just not worth it to mine altcoins randomly when they keep getting killed like this, and they're just pretty much covered in blood red. But now it seems like they're kind of waking up a little bit. Now everything's not so awful. Actually, now you see this rising. Of course, my Ethereum's still down, but you know, still better. Maybe I'll do Nice Hash again tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, that I mined Pure Coin one of the last times that finally got released, and that actually sold for a plus 50%. So if you time it right, you can get profits. That's it, guys. As always, the rest is up